Hey 49er fans, this video is sponsored by Manscaped. For 20% off plus free shipping on your very first order, go to manscaped.com/49ers right now. Link is down below in the description box. Again, 20% off your first order plus free shipping, manscaped.com/49ers. All right, let's go and jump into the latest 49ers news and rumors, as we always do here on a Monday here on the 49ers Report. I'm your host, Thomas Mott. As always, you should already know that. Let's dive into what continues to be an interesting week, I guess, or will start off to be an interesting week regarding Jamal Adams. There's a lot of buzz going on there, and really around the National Football League regarding trades happening this week and next week as we get closer to training camp, and Jamal Adams might be one of those players. Now, we've talked about Jamal Adams a ton here on the 49ers Report, and I've said many, many times the Niners cannot afford to go ahead and trade and re-sign him. That's not stopping a lot of 49er players from trying to recruit Adams via social media. We'll go to this one, and Deebo Samuel, who of course had posted on his Instagram, sparking speculation that San Francisco could be interested in signing Jamal Adams. Now, my question before I show you the actual Instagram post, where does the money come from? Because San Francisco does not have a lot of money to really even re-sign George Kittle. How are they going to free up the cap space to not only trade for Jamal Adams, but then sign him to a $14 or $15 million extension? That is the million-dollar question. Here is the photo, though, that Deebo Samuel posted to his personal Instagram account. You see, obviously, it was on a story, and it was at Jamal Adams, President Jamal, come to the gang, and a little, hey, listen, why not, right? Of course, Jamal Adams looks pretty good in that number 33 for the 49ers, and that was, of course, a post laying on top of the idea the Seahawks and 49ers are both inquiring about Jamal Adams. That's where we go back to this whole idea of this could be a big week, not only this week and next week, because a lot of teams are trying to finalize those rosters as we get closer to the July, I believe, 28th start of training camp, which every single team will start at on time as expected by the National Football League. 49ers would be fantastic with Jamal Adams. There's no debating this. I fully understand how great the Niners would be with Jamal Adams, and it's not like it's impossible to think of a trade that could make it happen. You could mix in D4 and you'd save $14 million, but going forward in the future, paying Jamal Adams along with the other future stars the Niners currently have on their roster who are either rookies or young players like Deebo Samuel and Nick Bosa, it's hard for me to imagine a world where the 49ers could afford Jamal Adams without giving up substantial amounts of players, picks, and money to go ahead and get the deal done. Again, let me say it one more time, because this could happen this week. It's not a 0% chance this happens. I'd say it's a 20 to 25% chance this happens, but to save face in order to you guys saying, Thomas was wrong, they traded for Jamal Adams, I want Jamal Adams on the 49ers. Everyone who is a 49er fan or covers the 49ers wants Jamal Adams. He makes them better. I just don't see how you do it, but John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan, prove me wrong, because apparently it made Deebo Samuel and a lot of other 49er fans happy because they've been calling for it on social media for a better part of the last month. Now, would you guys give up a first-round draft pick for Jamal Adams? Let me know in the comment section down below. Type 1 down below for yes, type 2 down below for no. Let me know about that first-round draft pick down below. All right, moving on. So ESPN put out a very interesting article by Jeremy Fowler, who's normally the Pittsburgh Steeler, I believe he's a Pittsburgh Steeler reporter, but of course he does other work for ESPN as well, where he spoke to 50-plus league executives, GMs, and coaches and had them rank every player at certain positions. So top 10 running backs according to league execs, top 10 quarterbacks, wide receivers, and so on and so forth. And you probably see where this is going. Well, he asked them to rank where Jimmy Garoppolo would stand in terms of the top 10 quarterbacks in the National Football League, and Jimmy G did not make the top 10, but he is close, and I'll show you that list here in just 1 second. First off, 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com, of course, our official sponsor here, manscaped.com/49ers. You can get a lot of their great products that they've sent to me and a lot of other people here at Chat Sports. I was using them actually yesterday. It's fantastic stuff. The Lawnmower 3.0, the Weed Whacker, the Perfect Package. I mean, they got a bunch of stuff overall you can go ahead and pick up right now, 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com/49ers. Link is down below in the description box. So here is that ranking that ESPN put out in terms of what the execs think. So your top 5 quarterbacks are as follow according to the majority of players, or majority of coaches and execs in the NFL. Mahomes 1, Wilson 2, Rodgers 3, Watson 4, and Breeze 5. Okay, there's your top 5. 6 would be Lamar Jackson, 7 is Brady, 8 is Wentz, 9 is Prescott, and Stafford comes out at 10. And then, of course, the other people receiving votes to be in the top 10 but did not make the top 10 are Matt Ryan, Ben Roethlisberger, Kyler Murray, Kirk Cousins, and Jimmy Garoppolo. Now, each player got a certain amount of votes to be in the top 10, but it wasn't enough. Ryan got 14, Roethlisberger got 8, Murray got 5, and Cousins and Jimmy G both got 2, respectively. So there are some GMs and some execs out there who think that Jimmy Garoppolo is a top 10 quarterback. Now, 2 votes there would probably tell me it could be Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, but we didn't really say who it is, but that would make sense, right? Voting for your own player. But I think the list overall is pretty much what everyone would have in their top 10, just move some other players around. Stafford there at number 10 is a little bit high in my opinion. Prescott being there at 9 is a little high as well. I'd put Ryan ahead of Prescott and Stafford, and I would move Jimmy G up a little bit. I think Roethlisberger should be in the top 10 if he's actually going to be healthy this year, but overall I think it's a very accurate list, minus of course Prescott and Stafford. You can argue about Wilson over Rodgers or Watson over Breeze and back and forth, but those are all players in my opinion that would be inside the top 10. And if Jimmy G plays this well and plays well this year and leads him to another playoff push, he will be rated as a top 10 quarterback going into the 2021 offseason. Here's what one unnamed veteran NFL coach told Jeremy Fowler of ESPN about Jimmy Garoppolo, quote, "He's a pure pocket guy with a great release, and his teammates love him. He's probably got a ceiling, but I think he's a really good quarterback in this league." Yes, he probably has a ceiling, much like the majority of quarterbacks in the NFL, not named Patrick Mahomes or Carson Wentz or, I guess, Russell Wilson. Those all seem to have unlimited ceilings in terms of their actual potential. And Jimmy Garoppolo is not going to be the best quarterback in the NFL at any point in his career, but he will be a top 10 at one point. And even right now, GM thinks he's a really good quarterback in this league, and his teammates love him. That's basically all you could ask for at this point in an NFL career in terms of being the best quarterback that you could possibly be. The stats last year were really good. Then you got to drop the interceptions down a little bit, like we've talked about. 13's got to come down to 9 or 10. It's got to be below 13 this year in order to show improvement. But 27 touchdowns, almost 4,000 yards, that's right where you want to be for a quarterback that would go to the Super Bowl, and that's exactly what Jimmy Garoppolo did as the starting quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers. So sure, you can be upset he's outside the top 10 according to NFL GMs, and they're all wrong and it's ridiculous. But just give us one more year and he'll be inside the top 10, and then there'll be no complaints and no worries about it overall. Now, type 10, if you guys think Jimmy G is a top 10 quarterback, just 1-0 down below. Do you think he is? If you don't, let me know where you would rank him in the comment section as well. Final bit of I guess news here. It's interesting what Pro Football Focus does on a weekly basis. They actually decided to simulate the season for every single team multiple times and release the best case scenario and the worst case scenario in terms of wins and losses for every single team. So I figured I'd share that with you guys today because it's interesting in terms of their high and low end win projections. 2020, let me say this, looks pretty darn good for the 49ers. Even their low end projection to me is impossible, but still wouldn't be that bad of a year for San Francisco. So before I show you that, go ahead and subscribe to the 49ers Report here, as we're doing plenty of coverage, just not only this week, but for the rest of the NFL season and beyond. What in my opinion is the best 49er channel on YouTube. If the Jamal Adams trade or any other trade happens, we're covering it for you guys here exclusively on the 49ers Report. So subscribe and click the notification bell right below the like button. That way you guys are notified whenever we go ahead and jump on here and release the latest information. So Pro Football Focus has the worst possible outcome, the 10th percentage outcome as they call it, at 7-9. So the worst case scenario, meaning like everyone's injured and they have a terrible year, would be 7-9, which is a lot of teams' best year overall. So would that be terrible for 49er fans? Yes, but it wouldn't be the end of the world for the majority of people in the National Football League, because 7-9 happens to a lot of teams. That's the worst case scenario. Pro Football Focus said for this to happen, quote, Deebo Samuel's foot injury is a problem that drags into the season, and the 49ers are without not just Emmanuel Sanders, but now both of their top weapons at wide receiver from a season ago. In turn, the 49ers offense becomes more one-dimensional, relying more on the run game than they would like to. So Deebo's injury is a leading factor in terms of the 49ers having a worst-case scenario season versus a best-case scenario season. But of course, as we know, Deebo is supposed to be good to go by week 1, is projected to be healthy and ready to rock for the 2020 season. Now, the best outcome they had, the 90th percentage outcome, as they say, is 12-4. Which I think is dead on accurate. I don't think, 13 wins is very, very unlikely. 12 wins would be fantastic and probably would get you the number 1 seed in the NFC. For that to happen, quote, a devastating pass rush and top-notch coverage play spearheaded by the second phase of Richard Sherman's Hall of Fame career once again results in one of the best defenses in the NFL. Obviously, Kyle Shanahan continues to confuse the league's defensive coordinators, and Jimmy Garoppolo continues to get more and more comfortable in this system. Again, 90th percentile outcome is 12-4. That sounds a lot more like reality than the 7-9 outcome because, right, the top-notch cover corner of Richard Sherman continues to play well. That's pretty obvious that will happen. The defense is one of the best in the NFL. That's check, pretty obvious that that's going to happen. And Shanahan continues to scheme well for a quarterback, and Jimmy Garoppolo continues to play well. Check, like the odds of 12-4 versus 7-9, that's why it's the 90th percentile outcome makes a lot more sense. Now, I had the 49ers being in, kind of that 10 to 11 win range. So obviously more than 7, a little less than 12. It's a tough schedule. We've broke it down here on the channel, but 10 to 11 wins obviously probably wins the division and gets you at least a home playoff game, if not 2, if they're able to get a first round bye. But this is good news for 49er fans. But really, in my opinion, doesn't say anything new that we didn't already understand in the land of the 49ers, right? I think everyone realizes they're a good football team. They're going to win a lot of games, but best and worst case scenario to me is fascinating to break down. I want to break that down for you guys here on the 49ers report. Okay, before I wrap this video up though, I do want to hear from you guys. I asked for a lot of comments. I read all the comments, and I normally reply to a lot of the comments. Give me your win-loss projection for the 49ers 2020 season down below. Let me know what you guys think will be the 49ers wins and losses in the comments section. Again, I'm saying 10 or 11. Where do you sit? I want to gauge what you guys are thinking in our comments section. There you go, though. I mean, listen. Some interesting stuff going on with the 49ers. There's not a ton of news. There's some interesting articles. But this Jamal Adams stuff that I keep saying is not going to happen is at least getting a little bit of ground and gaining some steam. And so we're going to keep an eye on that here as we always do on the 49ers report. All the time we have for today here, though, on the 49ers report. I'm Thomas Mott signing off. Enjoy the rest of your day.